guys, I hope you're having a really wonderful day. So today I wanted to do a video on my top 10 Exo Beauty brushes. So let's begin with a disclaimer. Exo Beauty is one of my best friend's brands. She's also a YouTuber. I'm sure most of you would be subscribed to her. Her username's ShanXO, or Shankso as some people like to say. Recently I was chatting to another good friend of mine and she was just like, help me Sal, I don't know what brushes I need, like you need to help me, what ones are affordable, what ones can I buy in New Zealand. And it occurred to me I always recommend my friends to go shop on Exo Beauty, but I haven't really done a dedicated video. I just wanted to disclaim because I feel like some people do think, oh, she'll just, you know, say they're good because it's one of her best friend's brands, but that's not the case at all. Do you really think I would have used them for like 4 years? I have Marc Jacobs, Zoeva, Sigma, YSL, MAC, so many brush brands, ELF, I mean I have drugstore brands too, but these are some of my top favorites. Price is unbeatable, they're so well priced. The shipping in New Zealand is only $5 flat rate, Australia is $7 flat rate, and I think international is $12 flat rate. Over $50 in New Zealand and over $70 in Australia. You get free shipping anyways, and trust me, you're gonna want to be ordering that much. By the way, Exo Beauty also does lashes, they do like brush cleaners, sponges, heaps of other stuff, but I just wanted to touch on brushes. Before I get into my top 10, I just wanted to give a notable mention to her 10-piece tortoiseshell brush set. There's also a white vegan brush set. This set is 155 New Zealand for a 10-piece brush set, which is so good. Honestly, if you break it down, that's like $15 a brush. First one I wanted to mention is the powder tulip brush. I use this a lot in my tutorials, so I'm sure you guys are familiar with it. As the name would suggest, you can use this for powder. I love it for bronzer. It's like perfect. It just fits on the cheekbone beautifully. It's nice and dense, but it's not so dense that there's no flexibility there. I like to use the flat side of it to kind of like blend out cheek products, and then you can also use the pointed tip to go in a bit stronger with product. I've also used it quite a lot to set under the eyes. I use it with my Laura Mercier powder. This is 26 New Zealand, and the brush that kind of goes hand in hand with that is the domed contour brush. Again, I've used this a lot in videos. It's the perfect shape and size. It's kind of like round. I have to show you in action because it's just that good. So you obviously want to start by your hairline and work the product down. Like, can you see that? You can just kind of like buff it because it's got that dome shape. It's not completely flat. It blends out product really well. It's just gorgeous. So if you're into your contouring, I actually find a brush like this easier to work with than a brush like this, the NARS ITA, which I used to love, but you kind of have to flip it and like not be too heavy-handed, whereas this, I feel like it's very foolproof. This one's only $22. By the way, these are in no particular order. I do have some eye brushes too. I made sure to include eye brushes, so if you're in the market for some eye brushes, those are like the ones I'd recommend, but I'll get into that later. This next one here is the sheer powder brush, and first glance this seems very underwhelming. It's just like, you know, floppy, like there's not a whole lot of bristles, but oh my gosh, you need this, especially if you have fair skin or if you like really vivid colored blush. This is amazing. It picks up like the lightest amount of product, so I think this is awesome, particularly for us fair skin gals, but for anybody who just needs like a helping hand with their blush, they're just like going too heavy. This one's only 20 in New Zealand, I guess because it has less bristles or something. Next we have the small face brush. So in comparison to the sheer powder, you can see it's pretty small. It's really small. Obviously it's good if you have a small face, but I just love it for like setting the under eye area because it's so small, it actually fits in there well. If you are using a banana powder or something like that, you can be really precise with your placement. I love it also for highlighting because it's just got that kind of domed shape. So again, really good to blend out the product. Fits under the brow bone well, on the tip of the nose. It's just a nicer, smaller size, if you know what I mean. I just find it comes in handy for a lot of stuff. And this one is 21 New Zealand. Next one here is the domed fiber brush. I actually know the story behind this brush. May or may have not been with Shan when she like came up with the idea for this. We saw one kind of similar, but it like wasn't as good as this. This is perfect for a light or medium coverage base. It works so well with BB creams and more watery kind of foundations, but also I find really good with thicker foundations. Usually gel fibers are good for lighter coverage, but because this one is really dense at the base, I find that it also works well with the full coverage liquids, like a really big size. It just gets it all done. What I love about it most is it makes a full coverage foundation look like your skin. It just buffs it in. This one is 28, so it's a little bit more than the others, but like I said, it's massive. Next, I have the bronzer brush. I've loved this one for so many years, so I had to mention it. Although this is marketed as for bronzer, I use this one one for bronzer. You can see the size difference there. This is what I would always use for contouring before I got this brush. This one's just a little bit more precise for like a heavy look, but this one's also awesome for contouring. Sits right in the hollows of your face. It's also great for blush and highlight, and I used to use it to set my under eyes also. Just fits my face really well because of the curve. And this one is 20 New Zealand. Just got one more face brush and then the rest are eyeshadow. This is the Detail Fiber Brush. I think this is just perfect when you want a light application of something shimmery or something really pigmented. If you are a beginner, duo fibers is such a good thing to go for because they apply a very forgiving amount of product. It's not very much at once. You can really build up with these. And this one again is 20 New Zealand. I'll start with this one here. These are all 17 New Zealand, by the way. So this is just called Eyeshadow Brush. This is a pretty standard brush that most brands carry, but I've got to say I do really enjoy this one. It's very soft. I've tried ones before that are very scratchy and kind of like stab your eye. And the last two eye brushes I have here are the Blender Brush and the Firm Blender Brush. The Blender Brush is just a little bit bigger and fluffier, so it's really good after you've kind of put the crease color down. You can use it to blend everything out, or if you want a really blown out kind of smoky eye, it's great for that. Firm Blender Brush is very similar to the MAC 217. It's kind of like somebody took that brush and like pinched it a bit. It does fit the arc of your crease really nicely, and it just disperses the right amount of product. Gorgeous. I've had these ones for quite some time and washed them so many times. They never shed or anything like that. So that concludes the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. So thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit subscribe. I hope you have an amazing rest of the day, and I'll talk to you again very soon. Bye!